Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talk in Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Wednesday night. That's right, Hump Day is here, but we are here to get you through the remainder of it for the match day preview. The weekend is on the horizon. I can see it, and it's in the form of Bolton Wanderers at the Macron, at the University of Bolton Stadium. Looking forward to it. Don't forget, tomorrow, 8 a.m. I'm not expecting you to get up and watch it. Don't worry, but just thought I said it for the most random time I possibly could. But yes, live from tomorrow, the away day guy with Track to Girl Amy. All you need to know about parking, the stadium, food, drink, I don't know. Give it a watch. 20 minutes of absolute goodness. It will set you up for the rest of the day and certainly set you up for the trip. I've got an absolutely buzzing chat already. I love to see that. In case you're new here, the live chat is the place where you can speak with other town fans, but also get your point across and ask for the link, as Jeremy has done. I will try and get the link into the chat as soon as I possibly can. The show which the show that gives you the opportunity to have your say on your football team. We've got Cruncher saying Norwich get battered everywhere they go. I've got a little clip of someone singing that. I might have to give it a look. He also asked, "How's the spot?" Well, it's still there. I have to say, toothpaste did absolutely nothing. I just looked like a right idiot when I went to bed the other night with a big lump of Colgate stuck on the side of my mouth. You know, you've stitched me up a right kipper. But I am still living the dream. For those that maybe saw the Twitter video, I'm still living the dream. I'm still in the living room. The exceptionally large telly is just sitting right there. The dog's loving me being here. The wife isn't. She's upstairs doing a conference call. I kicked her out. I said, "No, I'm not moving from the front room." So she's upstairs on a conference call, and I'm just sitting here with the extra large TV and you guys and girls. Before we go any further, we now have YouTube memberships available. I know a couple of you have been speaking to me about how we can get YouTube on memberships available. I know some channels have them already, because you couldn't operate, work, or get on board with other sites that we perhaps have, which is obviously our TT Fifth Stand members. There's two available tiers, $4.99 and $9.99. Check it out if you want to. If not, head to our Ko-Fi, another place you can support the platform. And it's just a place, as I say, where you can support the platform. It helps us buy tech. You know, we're taking the show on the road, obviously outside the stadium. That required setup, etc., and just covers the costs. So, you know, if you want to support the platform, head to Ko-Fi. I could have done that a lot better, but as you can see, I'm no fucking salesman. Shit, I swore. And again, bollock. 3. I'm in a swear cycle. No, quick, get out of it. Prediction League. We've also got that available. That has come back. 4 fixtures: Bolton, Ipswich, Colchester, Barrow, Norwich, worst team in England, versus Everton. And the last one, I can't quite see it, Lincoln versus Cambridge. Oh, there you go. Adam Blamplate, new member. Thank you very much, Adam. He is leading the way. We appreciate that, my friend. Thank you, and thank you. Look, you even get a nice little colour with it. Oh, that's new. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like new things. Thank you, Adam. Thank you ever so much. But yes, thank you ever so much for all the support that people do give us. These are on the screen now. Our TT Fifth Standard members. I'll get Adam added to the list as soon as I possibly can. But to save me from drowning, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my first contributor. He is, of course, Mr. Vavavoom. Can you tell I'm not really a salesman?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh, no, just floundering like a walrus out of water or a goldfish out of water. That's probably the more apt saying. But welcome in, Tom. How you doing?
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, looking forward to today's show. Got obviously lots planned. I mean, some people are calling it the Tamas Priskin Appreciation Day or the Tamas Priskin Day. I still can't get on board about celebrating a League Cup. We lost in the end. We lost that game ultimately.
Well, got to celebrate Colin Healy's pass more than anything.
Oh, it was a tackle. Behave. It was a tackle.
Exceptional pass.
No chance that was a pass. Not a chance in a million trillion years.
Well, we'll agree to disagree.
We'll agree to disagree. Tell you what we can agree on. Talking Darts, a new show that me and you are bringing to the platform. Tell the people at home what Talking Darts is, because I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. So, as you can probably see over there, I quite like darts and I have enjoyed it for quite a while. So, spoke to Martin about it and we're going to kind of talk about it a bit more as the Premier League darts kicks off next month. So, we'll be covering the lineup week by week, covering before and after the event and just seeing who's interested really and wants to talk about darts a bit more. So, I love it. Martin was saying he doesn't know a great deal about it, so we're going to follow his journey and see the progression to when he's really getting into it, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Look, what I know about darts, you could write on the back of a postage stamp and then leave a space for your name, address, and date of birth. I know absolutely diddly. I mean, we were talking off air about Phil the Power Taylor, and then you dropped the bombshell that he's retired. So I've got nothing to cling my hat on. But let's get some darts emojis in the chat right now to celebrate this new show kicking off. Get it in the chat, dart emojis. I want to see that chat absolutely full with emojis. Back to the football prediction league, Tom. If I had to press you on this, and we've got a new member, Cruncher. Thank you very much for becoming a new YouTube member. We appreciate that, my brother. If I had to press you on Lincoln versus Cambridge, who have, been playing fairly well, what would you have to go on that one?
Well, Lincoln have just sprung up a few good results recently as well.
Teddy Bishop right back.
Who
saw that one coming? Crazy.
Not me. Teddy versus Lancaster versus Bishop. So that'll be an interesting one, won't it? I'll probably lump for a draw on that, to be honest. But if Lincoln could go away to Sunderland and get a result, anything can happen. But Cambridge can go away to Newcastle and get a result.
Well, yeah, that was a big turn. I mean, I don't think in the long run that would do Newcastle good. Hello, Cap. Aiton Darren, love the darts. I'll be in Leeds again for the Premier League. Hardy loves the darts. Rich Boy with 2 darts emojis. Love to see it. Sarah Davis, love the darts. That'll be great. Cruncher, snake bite. Rich Boy, stand up if you love the darts. Look at that. Look, you see? Bish, bash, bosh. We make it happen. We bring it to the people. I do like the fact that the YouTube members have their own little colour. Green. Which is good because one of the perks of being a YouTube member is that you priority comment. So I read out your comments first. So I'm glad it's a different color. It's gonna help me. Right. Let's bring in our second contributor. This is a man that needs no introduction. He is by order of the Peaky. Every time it gets me. Every time. It's the only intro I can't cut down. Mark, welcome back. How are you?
Very well, mate. How are you? You right?
I am incredibly well. Whenever I hear that, literally, it gets to that bit where it drops. I literally do a wrestling pose, like, oh, it's brilliant. It's the only intro, like I say, I've been going through them, trying to sort of, slice them, dice them, trim them, tidy them up a little bit, make them tip-top and shiny for January. But yours is just... That deserves to be on a fucking BAFTA nomination.
Doesn't need a change, does it? It just needs to be left well alone, and there it is. Done.
Absolutely spot on. Listen, we spoke about talking darts just there. Are you a darts fan?
Absolutely not. So
like
I won't be tuning into your show, unfortunately.
Join me on the journey. Join me on the journey. Because honestly, as I just said to Ant Still in the chat, I know absolutely nothing. So join me on the journey because we might eventually either find out we hate it or love it, but it's going to be fun along the way. Have you ever actually thrown an arrow? Because I do play a little bit. I just don't
I
watch.
have, yeah. I mean, I've thrown a few arrows down my local pub, but I wouldn't say I'm very good. And normally I'm sort of half cut when I throw them. So yeah, it's really a great mix.
It's the only way to be, I feel, with darts, Tom. Got to be half cut.
2 pints is the purple patch. After that, it goes worse. Before that, you can't do much. So you need to have 2.
All right, I love it. Talking of purple patches, obviously me and you did a podcast, Peaky. I want to just give that back to the community. If you've not yet seen it, please do go and check it out because apparently I've heard on the grapevine, this is your most listened to podcast. Is that true, Mr. Tuxford?
That is correct, yeah. So Martin Lambert, the Gov, is number 1, leading with the out of the 30 episodes that I've done, he's got the most listeners. So please just go and listen if you haven't already. If you have already listened to it, go and listen to it again because it is a very good interview. Didn't really have to do too many edits either, to be honest with you. So it was easy.
Look at that. But I mean, just call me the Draw. Forget the Gov. The draw. You get me on your show, you're guaranteed to have a rating spike. Just so people can laugh at me generally. But no, I'm pleased it was well received. But no, honestly, it's my most honest, raw conversation with anybody in a long time. Didn't expect it to be. Didn't set up.
Well, that's why we didn't really do any edits to it because it was so kind of off the cuff. We just went from sort of question to question. The honesty in it is was powerful, and we touched upon quite a few different subjects really. So it was really good. Too honest because we had a conversation before it went live about I was having a little bit of an anxiety panic attack because you know how I can be. Certainly those that are on my WhatsApp know. And but you talked me down from several times of pulling it. It was very close to me saying, actually, I don't want it going out because some of it was like my childhood. Also, just go and check it out. I don't want to spoil it, but as I've said, give it a listen
out there. Absolutely. And also, if they've listened already, I'll tell you what they need to do, Tux. If you've listened already, head back to the page, give a 5-star review.
Yeah, that's very true.
And tell them why it's 5 stars.
Yeah,
because the Gov is the draw. The draw is the Gov. Simple as. Right. On to a little thing called Ipswich Town Football Club. That's what we've all come to hear. How many likes says Crunchy for tonight's show? That's a good question. We'll ask the Peaky one. Peaky, how many likes do you want for tonight's show?
Just a couple more, I think. That would do.
Couple more than what? Couple more. Fuck me, man. Give me a number first.
We'll go for 5 today. We don't want too many. Just 5. 5 likes, 5-star draw. All right. There you go.
Look. Do you see what that is? That's my wing, right? Come under my wing. Right? Come under my wing. Come and nestle in here. I'm going to tell you how to do the game, right? Likes on YouTube drive the algorithm, right? So just you're listening, you're learning. You're under the learning tree now.
I am under the learning tree.
So 5 likes, mate, ain't going to get us fucking nowhere. All right? Not with some of the stuff that some people churn out on a regular basis. You got Griffin on 20,000 subscribers, mate. Like,
yeah, that's well done to him, to be fair.
He sneezes and he gets 5 likes. Yeah. Right? So we need more than 5 likes. So Tom, give us a like target.
What's a like?
Oh, for fuck's sake. There's no more room under the wing, Tom. There's no more room. But all right, we'll go for 100 likes. 100 likes. Absolutely. There's no reason why this show.
As many as that? 100 likes.
Yeah, there's no reason why this show with that man and that man can't get 100 likes. Absolutely not sure. The Cruncher, Talking Town Cricket Show, now available on all of your podcast providers. Thanks to the Gov. It certainly is. Talking Cricket. Look it up. Right, Ipswich Town. The last bits and bobs of the Evans regime have just been swept away and tidied up because Mr. O'Neill is no longer a part of the PLC board, ladies and gentlemen, with O'Leary taking over. So fingerprints of Evans finally gone. Tom, do you feel this was the last sort of standing order of the Evans regime?
It's fine. He's gone, really. It doesn't... Yeah, it feels like he's gone already. I think that's just a very small detail, but I hope he just gets to do what his job was before Evans turned him into what he was. Because he was just in the background doing a job in the academy, and then Evans made him a scapegoat, which wasn't really fair. No,
that's very true. But he has gone back to his academy roots or roles Tux, but it does feel like just like the last lingering smell, if you like, of that ownership is now gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think he gets a bit of a bad rep because obviously there was lots of work he was doing that kind of went unnoticed, I think. But I think, I think maybe he was a little bit kind of, under pressure a bit with that kind of role. I think there's no doubt that like he is an Ipswich fan. He's quite passionate about the club, but, I think he's probably going to go back into a role that I feel he probably offers the most in, and that he can be an asset to the club potentially. So, I mean, Mark Ashton has done a fantastic job since he's been here, and I think O'Neill just goes back into the realm of where he's good at, really.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Another piece of business that's cropped up since Monday, if you like, Tux, is the new iFollow record. Over 6,000 passes were purchased, with the away end also selling out. So what I want to talk to you about, because obviously everyone knows we're massive. Everyone knows we're far too big for this division. So that's no real surprise that we're packing out iFollow as well as packing out grounds. But with that number being coming on a Saturday at 3 p.m, is it time the 3 p.m. blackout was revisited and possibly removed? Because as we've got Wimbledon now selling out. As a Tuesday, I know, but even for Saturday, it would have sold out. Is it time to revisit that, do you think?
I mean, it depends really. I think you're looking at further down the leagues, and if you're selling quite a few on iFollow, then you're not selling tickets in the ground at the end of the day. So it just becomes quite easy for the fan to sit in their armchair essentially and watch the game and not really pay for the match experience. At the end of the day, what did Marcus Evans want? He always wanted season ticket sales.
He did.
And it comes into that. So if you're giving the fans options to kind of essentially sit at home, then they're going to take that. And if they're not already, then they might do if that blackout was coming back in. So yeah, I don't know. I think for me, you try and do it the best you can for the fans. But I like it the way that it does it for an away fan potentially.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a difficult one. But I think for me, I'll keep it the way it is.
Yeah. 99p super sticker from Neil Perks. Thank you very much, Neil. Truly appreciate that. Would you, Tom, keep it the way it's? Obviously, you're a fan that's sadly, not in the Suffolk boundary level in the county. You're in wherever I'm not going to say where you are, just in case you don't want me to. But are you different to Tux?
No, I agree, and it's for the same reason that there are teams who need that match day income, and I think ourselves included. We've got overheads we need to pay for, and the fans are just going to spend more on the day, food and drink and all the bits around it. And you're just kind of shutting off local pubs and businesses in a way as well. So you're kind of shutting off Ipswich economy. So I'd keep it as it is and try and encourage people to go as much as they can.
I think the other argument would be that I'm lucky enough to have a season ticket. I can afford that this season and all that sort of stuff. But maybe in the future I won't be able to, and there's so many other people out there that can't afford a season ticket or can't even afford to go to a game. So I'm sure they would like to have that option of watching it from home and stuff like that. But I think general football fans, as a thing, it's got to be that I like the old school approach that you go to the football, you watch the football, and if you can, that's great, and you appreciate it more whenever you go. So you look at COVID. We were sat at home and watching it on iFollow isn't the same at all than being there. So yeah.
Would you go in for a model where 3 p.m. blackout rules apply unless or until away allocation is or home allocation is sold out, and then it's lifted, or a certain percentage of the crowd, so 80% of the stadium is full, or because I get what you're saying there, Tuck, but look at AFC Wimbledon. Now, let's put that on a Saturday, because if it was a Saturday, it would have sold out, guarantee it. You can't physically get a ticket for that game. Should you then therefore be penalised? Or recently I was ill, Wickham. If that was a Saturday, should I therefore have been penalised because I was unwell, but I had a season ticket that I couldn't be using? Should there be workarounds?
Well, I think there's certainly ways around it, but what does it all come down to? It all comes down to money at the end of the day, and these TV rights and stuff like that. So, if we was in the Premiership, it's one of these sort of things where, you couldn't watch that on iFollow probably because Sky would want to have the rights to that. So it all comes down to to that really. And the only reason why we can even watch iFollow is because we're in a lesser league. So yeah,
it was quite funny, Tom, when we went to the FCA Awards, because every time Sky got up there to collect something, the room was just booing them, literally.
Really?
Yeah, just booing them every time. I felt sorry for the young lady who got up there, clicked at the awards. It's like, you can guarantee she's got. It's not her fault, but she was getting some right flack. But generally, when you do hear the word Sky, you do then think about a certain aspect of the football pyramid, don't you, and etc. Without saying what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think some of it you think of Murdoch, don't you, and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I've watched a documentary recently where you had the United fans back in the day, not wanting Murdoch as the hierarchy of their club, and look how well that sort of turned out. Really, that if he was a football chairman or a football owner, then and being Sky as well, then yeah, I think United probably would have dominated for the next 20 years, I suppose.
Absolutely, it's done a lot of good, but also it's distorted. I think is the word we've got. Matt Stanley, have you guys read the hashtag United Book Spencer FC? I haven't, but it's an interesting club, hashtag United. Do you know much about it, Tux? Your neck of the woods?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've got a good model there, and for a non-league advert, it's great. Especially if you're a player that comes up and plays against them as well. You get quite a lot on Twitter and stuff like that, quite a lot of advertisement. But I think, again, if they can go any further, can they? That's the question. I mean, it's a little bit like Salford, I suppose. You've got the, class of 92 there. And those documentaries are really good. I've watched those. And it's a football journey. And everyone loves a football journey. It doesn't matter who you support. It's a football journey at the end of the day. And I've also watched one with just recently, just before Christmas, with Robbie Savage. I think it was at Macclesfield. That's a really good one as well. So yeah, it's the journey for me. And I think from what I remember, someone said that Netflix wanted to do a documentary on Ipswich, and Ashton pulled the plug, didn't he? He said he didn't want to do anything this season. So yeah,
brilliant. That'd be filed in the comedy section next to Afterlife 3. Adam Blamplate, and I never have the money to go to a game. I live in Yarmouth. Get rid of the 3 p.m. blackout would be great for people in the same situation. I feel you there, Adam. The Cruncher Gov will tell you the details of what I don't know. It's where you do the super. Oh, joining. Yes, there's a big button called join. Join there. All the information is available. Not the top 20 podcasts said on their second half season predictions that they feel 77 points wouldn't be enough to see us in the playoffs. So I asked both of you to give me sort of a rundown of how you see the last 20 games going. I understand that's a lot of games. So here we go. First of all, I'm going to bring up your running, TJ. Okay. So this is how you predicted the next 20 going. You've got a win at Bolton, Stanley a draw, Wimbledon win. You've got 3 defeats in there. MK Dons, Oxford and Rotherham. Talk to me about MK Dons here for a start, because MK Dons a defeat, really?
No, they're a good team, and we're going away, and I can't put every game in here that we're going to win or draw it. I think there needs to be some leeway realistically that we're not going to have some bumps in the road. And the most logical teams, I think, are those away games against those 3. Personally, I think there's a chance we can easily go there and get a result. I think
I can get behind the Rotherham one, Tux, but do you see us? I mean, when you look at it, the way Tom's done it here, and you see us, picking up results the way that he's got us picking up results, would MK Dons be one that you think in that run of form that you're in there? Gillingham, Doncaster, draw. You're unbeaten to MK Dons in Tom's well, which is great. But would that then mean how do you see it?
I think for me, I agree with what Tom's saying, where you're not going to win every game.
Right. So I was thinking about standards. Sorry.
I was just going to say that you can't win every game, so you're going to have to look at some of these fixtures, and yes, you could say that we could lose against all of the top sides and beat all of the lesser sides, but what this season's been about. It's been a bit sort of topsy turvy. We haven't picked up results against teams we thought we could, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we did potentially lose MK Dons or something like that, because anyone can beat anyone in this league. It's not given right. So, for me, I think when I looked at my one, it was kind of a bit of a safe bet, really. I remember that, I put down that we lost to Wigan and stuff like that. And,
I'll get yours just up now.
it's things like that where I think those teams could potentially do something against us because they might be a bit stronger. They might be in a bit of form by then as well. So, yeah, I think that's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, I'll get your. So, Tom, before I bring yours up, Tux, you had us getting 40 points, which would take us to 75, 10 wins, 6 draws, 2 defeats. Which is decent. But I found a website called sportsclubstats.com, which I'll drop in the chat right now, which gives you a percentage chance of making playoffs, top 2, etc., based on how many points. So, based on your points of 75, we'd have a 9.7% chance of making the playoffs.
That's not nice, is it?
No. Well, that's the level of work we've got to deal with here at the moment. That we've given ourselves a lot to work with, Tux, or a lot of clawing back to do, and it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. So on to your one, and I'd ask you to do this at home. Let me know in the chat how you see the next 20 going, and I'll say how the percentage chance is for that. But you've got us drawing at Bolton. Defeat at Wednesday, defeat by Rotherham, defeat by Wigan. You've got us beating MK Dons. Talk us through the Wednesday one. You feel that because they're not in a great run of form at the moment.
Yeah, I think that I feel like Sheffield Wednesday underneath it all are quite a strong side, and it's even the lesser sides as well. They'll have something to play for come the end of the season, even now. So. It's one of those things where you've got teams trying to get to the top of it and trying to get in the playoffs, and then you've got teams trying to avoid the relegation scrap. So, this is really kind of the business end of the season anyway. So, yeah, I think, as I said, you can't win every game, but I'm hopeful that we can, go on a bit of a run, and we haven't done that for God knows how long.
We're going to have to
the other day. So, but yeah, we do have to go on a bit of a run, and I feel like, the 2 games that I've seen under McKenna, there's some hopeful sort of stuff there, and we look like we're playing well, but it's who you come up against. There could be suspensions, injuries, all that type of thing to all consider as well. So, it's not going to be an easy kind of run into the end of the season. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget to hitting that like button, as the Cruncher says. And also, thank you to Mike D and Matt Stannon for becoming YouTube members. Appreciate that. So, Tux, very elegantly put there, and you're absolutely right. But we are going to have to put a run together. That's something that's going to have to happen if playoffs have any chance. So, your points return is 41 points.
Yeah.
Which was Sears finished on 76 points, right? So, you've got us on 76. Tom, you had us on 75, right?
Yep.
It goes up from 9 to 13% just by that 1 point, Tux. 76 is a 13% chance of making the playoffs. 76 points will see you inside the playoffs every year since 2011. So, if we can get the results there that you're saying, and that's one more point than you yourself there, Tom, that is. But does it highlight the magnitude of the scale here? Because obviously on the previous shows we've been talking, fans have been coming on. Mike, for example, Mike Fisherman, don't give up. It's perfectly feasible. We can do it. Though, does the percentage chances there that I've sort of highlighted, courtesy of that website, does that highlight the scale of the job that we're facing here? Really? Because you've got no margin for error whatsoever.
Yeah, it's tough, and as we got the new manager coming in. I'm happy with McKenna. I was a little bit skeptical about it at the start just because of his experience. But, when we didn't even have McKenna in the frame, when we was thinking about the Terrys of this world with Neil Warnock, etc., I was thinking Neil Warnock because I thought that, if anyone can get anything out of this, it's going to be Warnock. So, you look at it today, we got 8 points off it today. So, it's a huge task. You've got to put 2 wins together before you're even thinking about maintaining any kind of playoffs and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's difficult. And as much as I put that together today with the fixtures and the wins and losses and draws, I think I just feel like we might just miss out a little bit.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, we'll see.
And I appreciate that. I sort of threw this on you this morning as here's 20 games, give me a points return. And it's incredibly difficult. And no one, I expect, will be holding you to what you've said, because injuries, suspensions,
exactly,
COVID, whatever it may be, can affect it. But I was trying to just sort of see, as you sit here, how you feel, and also just sort of the scale of the task. I mean, just to give you a heads up, Tom, you've got 76 points is a 13.4% chance of the playoffs. 78 is 20%. It's ridiculous, really, considering it's League One. But 76, 77 is generally the cut-off point, or it has been every year since 2011. Do you feel this year's a stronger division? Do you feel this year's going to require more points than the normal?
It feels stronger at the top end. It certainly does at the minute. But I think we're in a fortunate position. We've still got to play a lot of the teams above us again, so we can kind of close that gap. It's kind of in our hands to do that in a way. So that's kind of good. But yeah, I do get the impression that Rotherham are going to win the league, and it's the case of who gets second from Sunderland or Wigan at the minute. And they're big names for this league. And then we've just got some Oxford and Plucky. They always like to be in and around the playoffs, it seems. And then we've got these wild card teams at Plymouth popping up. MK Dons can do it this year. So yeah, it's tough. It's tougher than last year, I think, which shows how poorly we did last year.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know if it's sort of tougher, Tux, or is it more actually there's not a standout team outside maybe the top one or two? Like we're all shit, basically.
Well, I don't know.
Look at Lincoln last night, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you look at the teams across this league, especially the kind of the top 10, most of those have been in the Premier League. They've got a good history about them. It's not been long since it was in the Premier League either. So, these are teams that, have fallen on hard times. But I've said it before on this channel that, the reason why, these clubs are in this league is because they're poorly run clubs. You look at Hull, you look at Charlton, you look at, the Portsmouth, these are teams that have found themselves in administration. Yeah. So when you look at it from that respect, that's why they're here. But at the same time, they're a strong outfit in League One. Sheffield Wednesday, strong. There's strong teams in here. So the fact that we've kind of got to keep playing these sides, and it will only get stronger next season because you might have a derby come down from next year. So they're not going to mince about that, are they? So
no.
These are big teams and big leagues, and if you want to get to the Championship and the Premier League, they're only going to get better, unfortunately.
They are, yeah. So big task, but we've got to kick it off with obviously Bolton coming up on the horizon. That's the first one. I think what we've established though from looking at the run of fixtures, to be fair, is that our running isn't actually sort of that bad. If you sort of ignore the wins and draws, what you've got actually is Bolton who are in the bottom six. Accrington and Stanley, who always, for some reason, are a tougher opponent to us. AFC Wimbledon, bottom six. Gillingham, bottom six. Doncaster, bottom six.
The only thing I'd say is define what that means in terms of, the fixtures don't look too bad. I mean, these are all relegation, teams that are there. They want to be fighting for their lives. So if anything, it's probably harder.
Well, this is it. And it could be harder, but then if you get onto a run and the fixtures are the way they are, you could hit the playoffs in a real monumental momentum swing where you're like a steam train coming in.
Yeah.
I don't know. If we don't make the top six, it's because of the first 7 games, which is which is fairly true. Right, on to Bolton, because that's the first hurdle. Every game's a hurdle. We've got 8 games in which we can probably not get a win, but we can't lose any more than 2 or 3. We've established that with that little segment there. But up next, Bolton, Ipswich. Let's do some famous connections first of all. 3 players that have played for Bolton and Ipswich. Can you name any, Tom?
Oh God, Tux can go first.
Tux, can you name any?
Ivan Campo.
Ivan Campo, absolutely correct. 3 points. What's your memories about Ivan Campo? When you think about Ivan in a blue shirt? What's other than his hair? What's
strong barnet though, isn't it? I mean, you just got to look at that thing, and you got reminds you of a loo brush, but at the same time, you just got to admire it. It is, I think when he came to us, obviously he was kind of pretty past it, but I mean, playing at centre back, he was He was all right. He weren't too bad.
Yeah.
You know, just he had a ping about him. I think I
Oh,
remember him playing in CDM role one game, and he just got absolutely turned over against someone. But yeah, good player at Bolton though. Good player.
He only played 17 games for us.
Yeah.
You know, which is crazy, really. I when you think about it, it seems like he was here for ages, Tom, but only played 17 games.
I remember him coming in. I was very underwhelmed when he did play, and I was like, "Oh, we've got this bloke who used to play for Real Madrid," and he turned up. And I was like, oh, "Jesus!"
I can't quite believe he played for Real Madrid, if I'm honest.
No,
can't believe
well,
that. He did look past it.
He played 60 times for Real Madrid. 60 fucking times. Yeah. And he played a lot more for Bolton than he did for Ipswich. Another one, Tom. Anybody that you've seen in the chat? Anyone that you come to mind?
Yeah, I've seen a few here. David Norris is one. Good play for us overall. Bit too expensive, but good play nonetheless.
Trotter,
Was
he too expensive? This is something that came up on the Monday show. Was he too expensive, or was he actually the right sort of money at the right time? Just we couldn't utilize him.
I guess player.
David Norris.
I thought he was a bit too expensive, personally. I know he was good at Plymouth, but I did think it was a bit much at the time. I'm not sure.
I'll give you a player. Right, I'll give you a player. This is somebody that amazingly played less than Ivan Campo did.
Can I give you mine before you say yours?
There he is.
You've already done it.
There he is.
There he is. What a player!
Fucking
what
legend.
a player! Did Aaron Lee Barrett? He played for Bolton, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have a look. I'll look that
I don't know if he
up.
actually played for him, but he was certainly on the bench, I think, for him.
Oh, while I look that up, tell me what you've got on Mark Fish there. What are your memories of Mark 45 minutes Fish?
Well, I think that's probably one of the best 45 minutes I've ever seen. It was not just from a professional footballer point of view, but like it was comedy gold. Like it was good. And you can laugh about it now, but I think at the time it's you think about it. You must have thought him coming off after that. You think, right, I'm done here. See you later. Because he retired off that, didn't he?
He did. And just for those at home, perhaps that have heard the sound effects in the background, that's not me adding any ambulance sound effects to the conversation about Mark Fish. That's my son's ambulance going off over there. Just in case you're thinking I'm taking a piss by adding ambulance sound effects in. I'm honestly not. You may not have heard it. So in that case, you can just ignore exactly what I've said. Aaron Lee Barrett was at Bolton. Didn't play a single game. According to Wikipedia, on 24th of October 2013, he's on a short-term contract with Bolton to provide competition for Andy Lonergan.
Yep.
But he never played. He never played.
Sure.
There you go. Greatest goalkeeper town I've ever had, I think.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, he doesn't get the respect he deserves.
No.
Don't know. If we're talking really truthfully, he's one of the worst goalkeepers I think I've ever seen at this club. Couldn't catch a cold.
Good points return. Every time we played, he had a good points return.
Well, I don't know.
I think he's unfairly blamed for the Norwich debacle, Tom. I do. I think if he weren't part of that debacle, people would look at him differently.
Nah, I don't think so.
As Matt says, Lee Barrett, Lee Barrett. Just for the those are the times we had some good chance. Lee Barrett, and we had Bruce. Remember that one?
Yeah.
What a time to be alive. What a time to be a town fan. Right, we'll move it on that one then. So obviously an historic fixture, Bolton versus Ipswich. It always conjures up images, memories, referees, Paul Woolhurst. I can still see him really angry running after that ref. We've all got a favourite moment against Bolton. I'm going to ask you, what is your favourite moment against Bolton? Start with you, Tom.
So my first town game was in 2002, and any game we've played against Bolton since that has been relatively dull. So like anything I've watched that's been good has been the playoff footage in 99, 2000 season kind of thing. So it's just Magilton's goal when he's just like weaving in and out, and he just like twats it in the second leg. So that's the best goal, the pick for me in that game. Obviously, I think a few people would say Stewart's in the first leg, but yeah, just Jim dominating that second leg probably does it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I have got it here. Found it on YouTube. Let's have a quick refresh of an absolute legend. Is it that one? Yes, it is. Here we go. Jim Magilton. This is one of the moments, right, Tom? I think it is. If I found the right spot, it is. Here he goes.
There he goes.
Look at that. Through the legs. Round you go. Boom. Have it. What do you think about that then, Tom?
Love that. I think it means a lot more as well, given my generation and having Jim come up and play in the championship with us and then be our manager. I think there's just a bit more association for me, him doing that. So I think that's why I pick it.
There's a great story, Tux, about that, where Jim says he went for a kip in the afternoon, which he doesn't normally do before a night game, and he woke up feeling light as a feather, really on top of it, and just knew something magical was going to happen. I think it's a great story.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, I think football is all about, you want the kind of the fairy tale, don't you? And I think if you can, you know, kind of wake up from that nap, and then, you know, it's such a big game as well, and then go on to play like that, and you think, well, probably needed a nap for every other game that you ever played, I would have thought. But yeah, I think for me, like, Bolton has always been a bit of a special team. I think I always think back to those games when we ever play Bolton. It's the same with Barnsley. Whenever we play Barnsley, I always think of that kind of that 2000 final. So, but I think for me, like the Bolton memories, you know, are kind of what have based my love on this club. Really, it's such obviously an iconic moment because we got promoted that year, but you know, that just in terms of semi-final playoffs, I don't remember too many being like those. They were just incredible, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for a standout moment from a Bolton game would probably have to be.
Which one?
I think it's got to be like I agree with Tom's one there, but I think for me as well, it's got to be Stewart's goal where he just absolutely twats it in. Like the goal itself is just incredible, really, isn't it? It is just out of this world in terms of technique. You know, left foot. He had a wonderful left foot anyway, but yeah, unreal.
Do you mean this one, Mr. Peaky? Long ball, and then it goes to Holland, Captain Marvel. This is it, isn't it? This is an absolute peach. Look at this. Yeah. Save that, Yaski. You ain't saving it all day.
The thing is, you can't teach those things, and it is just literally raw ability that he's able to do that. And yeah, incredible player.
Absolutely incredible player. Yeah, truly. And that actually got us back in the game.
Yeah.
Got us back in the game, back in the tie. Jono had just gone off injured.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you put that, if you put it into context, you've lost your talisman. So on the sideline, in the stands, you've lost your talisman. You're 2-0 down in a playoff semi-final. You got a little bit of, you know, PTSD, if you like, about playoff semi-finals. Oh Christ, here we go again. We've been so much better than Bolton all year long, but here we go again.
And they had a very good team that year as well.
They did. Good Johnson.
Really good team. Yeah.
Klaus Jensen.
Yeah.
You know, really good. And they had chances after that to really kill us off as well. I've watched this clip back, or these clips today, and you know, and you got Mogger also off, as Cruncher says. You know, it was a real turning point. And you know, Bolton are a club that have been sort of. You always have these moments in time, these stitches in time, and Bolton have always been that club that have been the counterpart. The year we went down, Tux. Bolton kind of relegated us, if you like.
Yeah. I think, you know, football has a funny way of biting you on the arse. Really, I think it's especially against certain clubs. I think you've always got sort of teams that are, you know, your bogey sides a little bit. And yeah, I mean, you know, I kind of felt for Bolton as well because they nearly got wound up, didn't they? Was it last season or season before? And you just think how far they've gone really in terms of like down. You know, what was it? 10 years ago, they was playing European football.
This should be a Premier League fixture. 100%. This should be a Premier League football.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the players stands out in my mind, Tom, from Bolton that has nothing to do with these two teams is Stelios Jankopoulos.
Yeah, God. Yeah.
I mean, absolute player, hell of a name, and what a player. You know, I mean, I used to love playing with FIFA 05, 06 and just getting hold of Stelios. I think he was a fantastic player. Marvel. Really great. But my favourite moment is it's been called for in the chat, but here it is. It's obviously the second goal where he just sends every Bolton player for a cup of tea.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
you know,
quality
just
goalers.
I could hit it there, but I'm not going to. I could hit yep, boom.
Yeah,
Have a bit of that. Have it 2-2 back in the tie. Tanner on their way. George is at the wheel. Just you know, what a time to be alive.
What game as well, to be fair.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We've got to get those moments back at Portman Road. And, you know, maybe McKenna will be the man. JJ Kocher, says Mike D. I heard a story of JJ Kocher couldn't train during the week. Literally, they just saved him for Saturdays. You know,
it's the first I know. But a favourite player of mine at Bolton was Yuri Djorkaeff. Quality player he was.
Oh, I mean, look at that. Look at what we're talking about here. Yuri Djorkaeff. We had Sixto Peralta. We're talking about two football teams that are Sunderland were never great in the Premier League. They were always just there to make up the numbers. No disrespect. Us and Bolton went and we competed. You know, we had some ballers. But sadly, we are here in League One. They just got beat 2-0 by Wickham last night. They now sit 3 points above the relegation zone.
But again, Martin, they were a poorly run club. Again, you know, Sunderland poorly run, Ipswich Town poorly run. You know, it's not a coincidence. You know, if you're a poorly run club, you will come down the leagues. You know, you'll kind of sleepwalk into that position. And under Evans, we were sleepwalking that way as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're absolutely right. We were sleepwalking towards it. James B, they moaned about the referee, but his decisions were spot on. The only proper match I watched from the Cobbled Stand, greatest stand in English football. Hang on, James, rewind, walk that back. If you watch that game in the Cobbled Stand, the only game you've watched in the Cobbled, get yourself back to the Cobbled Stand, son. Because when you go there, things happen. We're good. That's why we've been shit for the last 20 odd years. James B is not sat in the Cobbled Stand, Tom.
Ridiculous. That was my stand when I had a season ticket for 3 years. Loved it.
It was mine as well, actually. Yeah.
See, all the greatest people in the world go to the Cobbled Stand. The comedian, the name escapes me. Newtown fan.
Omid Jalili.
Yeah, I bet he sits in the Cobbled Stand. Guarantee it.
He does.
Guarantee it, because he's a good comedian, you see. And if he doesn't sit in the Cobbled Stand, he's a second-rate one. Do you see how that works?
Yeah.
Because the Cobbled Stand makes the man.
I mean, are you saying that because you know he sits in the Cobbold Stand and you've seen the pictures from the view of the Cobbold Stand?
I'm set. No, this is a classic Martin moment where it could be really foot in mouth. You know, this could go either way with me. We did a podcast together, Tux. I live, and Tom will find this out. I live on the edge.
Yes.
This is the edge, and I live here. You know, it's just whether it can go one way or the other. Sarah says, of course we do, Gov. So what are we feeling about Bolton then this weekend? Tom, kick us off. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings?
Yeah, I feel quite good about it based on
Big
what
Dunk,
I've seen.
new member. Thank you, Dunk. Sorry, Tom.
That's all right. Yeah, they've lost the last 4 games. Granted, they've been against pretty good informed teams and Fleetwood. But yeah, they've not really beaten anyone of note in the league at all, in like the top half or anything. So I feel like we can do them. And yeah, 2-3-0 win, I think, could be incoming. Yeah.
There's a famous GIF on Twitter, Tux, with an American coach saying, "Playoffs, we're not good for the or something along those lines." This is sort of a litmus test, isn't it? Because we were absolutely royally. I looking back now, I don't know how we fucking survived that game.
Well, yeah, I mean it was a bit of a calamity, to be fair, but
5-2 at home to Bolton, and then Bolton now are sitting 3 points above the relegation. How did he survive that? Honestly, come on.
Well, I mean, you've got to look at it, and you've got to look at some of those players that were playing on the day. I mean, you look at like Walton, who came in for his debut. Everyone was kind of giving him stick and saying, "Well, why the hell's he in goal? What is he? You know, where has he come from? You know, letting him 5, and now everyone thinks he's the best ever." So. Things can quickly change, can't they, in football? But
they can.
Yeah, it was calamity day. That really was.
Yeah, not many keepers letting 5 on their debuts, do they?
Yeah.
I mean, then go on to be cried about not being signed. We need to sign him.
Yeah.
It was Edmonton and Burgess' first game together as well.
Yeah,
and just
it was, yeah.
the three of them just looked like a bag of spanners. They're just terrible. So, but now two of them are player of the season contenders.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are your thoughts as we head into, is it a real test of the times to see how far we've come from that game? Is it another hurdle we must clear in the playoff race, Tux? What are you thinking?
Every game's a must-win game in a way now, especially when you look at the table now. We're 8 points off it. I have got us down, maybe for a draw. I just feel like that, when you play a team that's kind of fighting for it, they suddenly turn up. That might be the same with Bolton. Who knows? I mean, obviously I'd like it to be 3 points, and I want us to continue this and actually have a good run of form for a long time. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. But yeah, I just think maybe a draw on Saturday.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, I would be upset with the draw, Tom, if I'm honest, because I keep saying we've got 8 games grace, if you like, in which you can lose 3, draw 5. I don't want to be drawing against Bolton when you've got Wednesday and Portsmouth and Wigan and Rotherham and all these different clubs still to come. I appreciate what Tux is saying there, Tom, but do you feel a draw would be a really bad result in the grand scheme of things?
Only because the margin of error is so slim now. And if we can do what we did against Gillingham, who are in pretty much the same position, go away to a team like that, we need to be looking to replicate what we did and try and put in that performance again. So it really has to be a win for me.
Yeah, I completely agree. Bob the Nod, great point. We're a different animal under McKenna, who prepares teams game by game. But then I guess you're looking at that, Tux, and you're saying, yes, but I'm not willing to sort of commit that because I've not seen enough.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it from the 2 games we have played. Yeah, it's been great. McKenna's got the team set out like he wants to be. We look solid with a back 5. But at the same time, there will be teams such as a Bolton that will, now suddenly turn up to the party and want to play football because they're in a bit of a relegation scrap. And I don't know why teams leave it so late like this. But, there'll be January signings that come in as well.
Yeah.
And that'll improve squads. So, it's, I just think that we shouldn't underestimate teams that are, down the bottom of the pile. Other than maybe kind of like Doncaster, who I think probably are quite out of it. Other than that, you look at it and think, well, any of them can kind of survive. And they'll need to play teams like Ipswich, Sunderland, Wigan, whoever it might be, to get those points on the board and stay up.
It's funny you say that because we did the AFC Wimbledon away day guide today, and we're looking at their fixtures. They're a team that almost rises for the big games. The teams that you think they may have a chance of, they routinely get beaten by. But you throw them a Sunderland or a Wickham or whoever, and I'm just saying names here. I can't actually remember the result. They seem to rise to the occasion.
Yeah. It's like their cup final, isn't it? You see lesser teams play. Premier League, like Cambridge the other day. You wouldn't think that they would be in the position that they are in League One when they played Newcastle the other day because it was all over him in terms of that sort of in terms of that. So, that's what I mean. Like you get yourself up for these games, and at points in the season, you get yourself up for it because your lifeline's on there. Your life is on it. So
Rob Smith, Crewe beating Charlton 2-0 proves Mark's point.
Yeah.
Ben Moore, tactically, Bolton will be a different to Gillingham, but it's still the same type of game for us to go there and win. That's the objective. Let's go on and run and start to worry the top 6. The good doctor, I feel a win coming on. Last time we were a disorganised, clueless bunch of strangers with heads dropped. Even then was only that third that did us, then we gave up. Yeah, absolutely right. I'm going to go into your teams. They're actually the same, which I feel like we could be getting into the pack, which is good. You got this is Tom's. And this is Tux's. Completely the same. So you're both going for a 3-5-2. Do you think he's going to stick with that then, Tom? Do you think because he said he'll approach every game in a different way. Bolton play a 4-2-3-1. You feel he's going to stick with the 3-5-2?
I think so. I couldn't pick a different team based on that last performance, to be honest. It was great attacking first half, professional second half, and it had a bit of everything for me. But but we're all still learning about McKenna anyway. So he might surprise us and do something completely different, and we have to just learn that as he keeps going.
Yeah, 3-5-2 for you as well, Tux. You don't see any tinkering?
Yeah, I agree with what Tom just said there, but I think I like the fact that McKenna's come out and said that he will set up a team to kind of nullify a potential opposition, but also the other side of the argument is that if you're winning well and you're performing to your best, then why change a winning formula? And that's something we've been guilty with probably over the last 3 managers, where we've chopped and changed a lot and not actually got anywhere with it. So keeping a settled side can only help us. And to be honest with you, I think this side at the moment, we're probably maybe the exception of maybe Penny for Coulson, Selena in there somewhere potentially. This is our best starting lineup, in my opinion.
Do you see? I think he's actually going to tweak it. I think he's going to tweak it. I think he's going to go with a back four. I think it was going to go with Penny, Edmondson, Wolfen, and Danassian as a back four. I think he'll shift Luco to the left side of midfield, play Burns on the right, and go with a 4-4-2.
Yeah, potentially.
I feel that because I think with a 4-2-3-1 and the way Bolton play, particularly with Afolayan, who caused us all sorts of issues, Tux, in the first game, I want to give the right side. I think he plays on the right. So play on the left. He plays on the right, so the left side. Penny particularly, I want to give Penny a little bit more protection. I want to, because I feel if we leave him on an island 1-on-1 with Afolayan, or even Danassian 1-on-1 with Afolayan, it's going to spell trouble.
Yes, you got a good point there, and I think I wouldn't be too surprised if we did tweak the formation a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you've got to look at Penny potentially being the weak link in that side at the moment, whatever kind of formation you play. I just think sometimes he's a little bit weak off the ball, but he's obviously not too bad going forward.
But equally, Tux, you've got Danassian, who's not the fastest in the world, been a good player this year, but I don't want him 1-on-1 with wingers.
Yes, yeah, I know what you mean. I think that if you're going to play one of them in their full-back areas, you'd be more suited with Danassian because he can actually defend. He's just maybe lacks a little bit of pace here and there, but I wouldn't be too surprised if the formation does change. I think the personnel will remain the same.
Yes.
But yeah, as I said a minute ago, I think the team or the personnel itself is probably the best we can probably potentially field with the exception of with Selena and Coulson in their rightful positions.
Yes, I think he played on the right yesterday, Mike. If I'm reading BBC Sport right, but yes, he did play on the left. He did give KBY a nightmare, which again, Tom, is exactly why I'm not prepared, or I'm thinking, do you know what? I might just tweak it here. But as Mark just said, this is a team now that actually can deliver multiple formations in a game, because this is a very flexible bunch of players that can each play 2 or 3 positions really well.
Yeah, it's a good point. And I think it's like McKenna said when he came in, he alluded to not playing to a formation, but playing to beating the other team. It's a lot more fluid, a lot very different to kind of what we probably have heard in the past, and less structured, which is quite exciting. And yeah, I think there's been a few player interviews in the past week. I think Evan said it as well. He touched on playing at a 4 at the back as well. So I think they've had it drilled into them that it looks probably different to us, but to them it's just discipline on positioning and just knowing where to be at the right time. So it might not be as structured as we might be thinking.
I was just going to say, with any kind of formation we play as a professional footballer, you should be able to play any kind of formation these days. As a modern day footballer, you should be able to play formations at will, basically. And if you're coached in the right way, if you're practicing that on the training ground, then you should be able to, essentially deploy yourself in decent positions and get the best from the team. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Before we go, tomorrow, the Stuart Watson has sat down with George Edmondson. What? I haven't seen the clip, but where do you think the nickname "the Fridge" comes from? What's the best thing you could say when asked that question? Where does the nickname "the Fridge" come from?
I would probably say that he's quite broad-shouldered, isn't he? So I think if you look at him, a fridge is like quite wide anyway. So I think it's purely down to that, I would have thought. And maybe like George is quite a common name to have in a football squad. So, you know, getting a nickname, a different kind of nickname, probably suits him.
See, I might have called him Tarzan, Tom. George of the Jungle, Tarzan.
George of the Jungle.
He'd have to have long hair for that, though, wouldn't he?
Sorry?
He'd have to have long hair for that, though, wouldn't he?
Well, he would, yeah. But what a great film that was. George of the Jungle, strong as he can be. Who's the geezer that was George of the Jungle in that film? Because I saw him recently, and he looks nothing like George of the Jungle anymore. Which I suppose he wouldn't as he gets older. Mike D, sorry. Tux tells Man United players can't play 4-2-2 for Toffee. Matt's done so. Tux, what are you saying? Selena can play left wing back?
No, he can't.
You didn't buy into that, did you?
No.
Nobody bought into that.
No.
Nobody.
Not for me. I know Matt is a big fan of Bailey Clements, and I'd rather play Bailey Clements at left wing back than that. And I'm not a Clements fan at all. So there you go.
That's it. Brendan Fraser was also in The Mummy, Tom.
Oh, I'm lost here. I don't know who that is.
Brendan Fraser was George of the Jungle, and he was in The Mummy. You must have seen The Mummy. We got The Mummy. You got The Scorpion King with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That was his first movie role. Come on, you've not seen The Mummy?
I've not seen The Mummy. No,
I've not seen The Mummy either.
I mean, it's called The Mummy, right? I mean, I've not just made that up. But it is called. Yeah, it's called The Mummy, 1999. You've not. This is crazy. You've blown my mind. You've absolutely blown my mind. To end the show, Prediction League is in play. Do not forget it. Link is in the chat. Tux, Norwich versus Everton. Norwich are currently getting ripped apart by West Ham. What do you think they're going to do against Everton? Do you think this is a chance they can actually get 3 points here? Because Everton are also absolutely up the creek without a paddle.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I do not know how Benitez is still in the job, to be fair. But I think that one could be a draw, to be honest. A 1-1 or a 2-2, something like that.
All right. I mean, that's a bit of a shit way to end the show, Tux. I mean, you just killed it literally at 1 minute past the hour.
I'm so sorry.
That's someone. Are you the sort of guy that like 1 minute past midnight comes down and pulls a plug out of the radio and says, "Right, that's it. You kids out of my ass.
Yeah.
Party's over."
Yeah, I don't know why I'd have kids in my house, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I would. Yeah, I'll pull the plug out, go make myself a Horlicks. Job done. See you later.
Happy New Year. 1 minute past midnight. Now, fuck off back to your own gaffs.
Yeah.
You miserable so-and-so. Yeah. Right, we're going to end it on that beautiful note. It's been a real pleasure talking football with you two fine gentlemen. We are currently on 69 likes. It's a great number, but I want more. Give me more, please, people. There is 110 of you watching on YouTube, more on Facebook, 110 of you. Come on, that is 100 likes. That's the target. Hit the like button. We are back on Friday with the McKenna press reaction. Do you want to hear any news on injuries from McKenna this week, Tom? Do you want to hear where Coulson is? Do you want to hear how Selena is? Do you want more transparency from the press conferences before we go, or do you feel actually he's starting to pick that up a little bit and we're getting better there?
No, I'm happy with not knowing. To be honest, I only care at 2:00 when the team comes out. I don't want other teams knowing, so I'd rather it be hush hush. I think Ashton might have had some sort of say with the media and the. Well, it seems like we're a lot more controlled and we're keeping stuff back a bit more. So maybe him and the press team have had a bit of words with local journalists and just saying, we're not doing it like this anymore. You're going to get what you're going to get. So I like it. It's good.
All right. And Tux, you agree with it?
Yeah, I think, I mean, the more information you get, you give out to the public, the more chance that, an away side or, the opposition are going to pick up on that. And then use it to their advantage. So, we'd only do the same if, like, say, Bolton released their team before Saturday. We'd be picking up on that and working out on that and training. So, completely agree.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Chris Boyd, that's the only time you'll ever hear me probably say that. I want more than, Anyway, right, we're done. Here's the peaky one. Here's Vavavoom. I am the Gov. We are back Friday, 8:30. But until then, with love, with care. Thank you for joining us. People behind brands. Check it out.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without.
Hey, Alex Griffin in the chat. A very quick congratulations on 20,000 subscribers. Thank you for jumping into our chat. Appreciate that. But a huge congratulations. The other two have pissed off already, gone for their Horlicks. But congratulations. We'll catch you soon.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding